Hello and welcome to today's video. We will be discussing why markets are wrong about inflation and asking, is there turbulence ahead? Our views on the recent optimism in the financial markets and why it may not last. According to The Economist, inflation will be harder to bring down than markets think, and investors are betting on good times when the likelier prospect is turbulence. Financial markets are floating high on optimism, and investors are increasingly betting that inflation, the world economy's biggest problem, will fall away without much fuss. The result, many think, will be cuts in interest rates towards the end of 2023, which will help the world's major economies avoid a recession. However, this rosy picture is probably misguided. The world's battle with inflation is far from over, and that means markets could be in for a nasty correction. Although recent consumer price figures show less inflation than at any time since the start of 2021, fluctuations in headline inflation often mask the underlying trend. The inflation problem is not fixed, and the main source of inflation is now the services sector, which is more exposed to labor costs. It is hard to see how underlying inflation can dissipate while labor markets stay so tight. They are keeping many economies on course for inflation that does not fall below 3 to 5% or so. Whatever happens next, market turbulence seems likely. In recent weeks, bond investors have begun moving towards a prediction that central banks do not cut interest rates but instead keep them high. Were America the only economy to enter a recession, much of the rest of the world would still be dragged down, especially if a flight to safety strengthened the dollar. There is also the possibility that central banks, faced with a stubborn inflation problem, do not have the stomach to tolerate a recession. Instead, they might allow inflation to run a little above their targets. In the short run, that would bring an economic sugar rush, but in the longer run, it might wreak havoc on the economy. In conclusion, financial markets may not be as optimistic as they seem, and investors should be prepared for market turbulence. The world's battle with inflation is far from over, and the problem is not fixed. Whatever the future holds, it's important to stay informed and prepared for any changes in the financial markets.